Hello, everyone. You are listening to Those Other Girls with Mallory and Friends. I'm Mallory,
Victoria.
and we are changing culture and bringing back traditional values. Happy weekly TCAP.
Yep. I feel like we're both I feel drained this week.
Yeah.
It's been like a long week for me. And I think so, Tuesday, I had my second back surgery, which it sounds a lot more serious than it is because
Yeah, I didn't know
okay,
you were having surgery. You
yeah,
never informed me.
so essentially it's like a nerve ablation. So they put needles in your back, you're awake.
Oh my
They
gosh.
numb the back, and they had to do so much numbing medicine that my leg, I couldn't move my leg. And so the nerve ablation essentially just it's like a pain therapy. So my back injury is never gonna go away. It's always gonna be there. But the nerve ablation stops the pain signals getting sent up to my brain. So then at least I feel more comfortable. And there was because there's a bunch of arthritis there. They hit an arthritis point and I almost threw up. I was in so much pain. And I had a hot I had a quick thought of oh my God, if this is what pregnancy and birth is I don't know if I want to do that.
What they say is that it's incredibly painful, but you forget because it's so painful. So that's why you keep doing it. That's what I heard.
No, because I remember this pain.
Yeah. Well, maybe
No,
it's going to be even worse than that, but you'll forget it.
I know. But I've been very sore this week from that and haven't been able to work out. And yeah, I mean, it's just I don't know. I feel like I've just had a boring week. So I'm very tired from my boring week.
Yeah. So I feel like I've been so busy this week. Even on my day off, I had so much to do that day. I had so many errands.
Well, I didn't even have a day off.
Oh yeah, you didn't. Well, technically did you take the day off for your surgery?
I took a sick day on Tuesday,
Okay,
but it literally wasn't a day off. It was I'm in pain.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'm glad you took a sick day because I know that you don't really like to do that either, but
no, that was my first sick day since high school.
Yeah, that's not good.
No.
We can discuss that off camera. But yeah, so I had the day off for Veterans Day. Thank you to all those who are listening that have served. And even that day, I had so many errands. I'm realizing today, this morning we had Love Life. It was the 40th week. It was so good. This was the most I've ever cried at Love Life. It was testimony. So all these different people were giving their testimony. And I mean, oh, it's beautiful. Honestly, sometimes, you're doing the different activities that you do, you're doing your work, you're standing up, you're speaking, and sometimes you just kind of are is this all in vain? Are we really making a difference? But hearing some of these people's stories and just having them say yes, keep it up, it was so encouraging. I had my sunglasses on. I was so glad that people could not see me, but I was one of those silent cries that's just tears. It was just so good. And even some of the women that were speaking, they were, well, first of all, also too, I start crying if someone else is crying 9 times out of 10, which is why I could never be a counselor, because someone would start telling me their trauma and they'd start crying and I'd be sitting there crying with them, and that's not helpful. But it was just, oh my goodness, it was just so great. Also too, what I thought was a really nice thing, when we were doing our walk, we passed some of the pro-aborts when we got closer to the abortion clinic, and someone recognized me. So I think that was good because it's okay, this person knows, I am a person that they know me for this, and that means they know me as a Christian. So that means if something were to happen, they know who to turn to, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. I don't know. I was very glad. He's like, hey, I know you. I was like, oh, hey. And everybody around me was like, what?
Who was it?
I don't know his name.
I guess, how do you know him?
So at the Women's March, it was a couple of people at the beginning that were there that were pro-aborts, and they just talked to us friendly. It was just kind of yeah. And he told us that he had a friend. He was like, yeah, I used to have a friend that would do what you guys did. Aww. And he's like, I have nothing against y'all. I don't think you guys are right. And I was like, I have nothing against you, and I don't think you're right either. A really nice guy. Praying for him. and he's also not a Christian, so praying for his salvation as well. But it was really, I'm glad that he recognized me, and hopefully if he saw me out in public, he'd say hey too. So I think, to me, especially after hearing Annette talk, to me, that is truly like how we're going to make the difference with people who are that passionate about the topic, is relationships, is building relationships, showing love. And like, he knows, like, he didn't, at the end of the conversation, we didn't say like F you to each other. So he knows that like there is still some love, and there's still some, I don't know. I don't know exactly.
Would you consider it like mutual respect? Like you don't agree, but at least like you have like mutual respect.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that would probably be the best way to describe it. Yes, we still have mutual respect, and hopefully, one day he will change his mind. And I think this is how we change hearts and minds. But yeah, so I had that this morning, and then this afternoon, or yeah, I guess it was afternoon one, we had the See Me Now tour, the Road to Reverse Row with Students for Life. That was today in Charlotte. So I spoke at that, and we got to see the ultrasound. Bailey, actually, she's pregnant. Yes. And it was her. We got to see Blakely. And it was like, that was another thing too. I was trying not to cry for that too, because I was like, it's not about me. But it was just, I've seen ultrasounds, obviously, but I've never seen one of a baby that I will know. You know what I mean? So it was so beautiful, and like she was moving around, and it was just so obvious. She was like doing all this stuff. Like, it was a human. It was a real human, and it was like, oh, it was such a beautiful moment. And we got to see that, and we got to hear the heartbeat. So it was cool. It was her first. Bailey was like, yeah, this is Blakely's first modeling thing. I was like, yes. And she's already, that's what she thought. My first thought was, look at this little activist. I was like, wow, that perfectly shows our personalities. But yeah, that was just super cool. But today I'm exhausted. We're filming this / recording this in Saturday afternoon instead of Friday night. So
yep. Well, I have some time this weekend, so I might watch some movies. Do you have any recommendations?
Last Night in Soho.
Where's that?
It is on the movie theater.
Oh no, I'm talking about at home.
I think you might be able to find it Amazon Prime, maybe, or no, HBO Max.
Okay.
You know how sometimes the movies will come out on
that's the thing, is like I really want to see Spencer. That's the one with Kristen Stewart as Diana, and it's only in theaters right now. I'm like, it's the one movie I want to see. It's only in theaters.
Last Night in Soho. Okay, it's, oh my goodness, it's so good. Like the twist at the end is just like, I really want to tell you what happens, but I'm not going to, because I really want you to watch it.
No spoilers allowed.
Yeah, no spoilers, but you should see it. And don't watch, or I guess you can watch the trailer. But I went in there not knowing too much about it, and I think that made it even better.
Okay.
So highly recommend everyone Last Night in Soho. Oh, also too, the third Dr. Matt Smith is in it. So that was kind of like, oh, look at that. From Doctor Who. The cute one with the bow tie.
He was in The Crown, so.
Oh, was he really?
Yeah, he was like the first Prince Philip.
The cute one with the bow tie?
I think so, Matt Smith.
Yeah.
And then he's going to be in the new Game of Thrones prequel.
Oh, is he? Wow, look at him.
So.
It's so funny. I was saying how he was cute because he had the bow tie and everything. And my brother was like, he's who you find attractive. I was like, yeah. And then like I looked up like more pictures of him like not in a suit, and I was like, wait, okay. Because you remember the episode of iCarly where Spencer kept wearing the suit and the girl kept finding him attractive?
Yeah.
That is me. Like I don't know what, like, in all seriousness, if a guy's in a suit, I automatically, they could probably be maybe the most unattractive person in the world. I'd be like, oh wow, that's so handsome. Like suits and bow ties are just like,
jeez.
I know.
Yeah, no. Yeah, he was in The Crown.
Oh, I didn't know. Maybe I should watch The Crown then, because I like him as an actor. He's my
I don't
second
think
favorite
you
doctor.
like The Crown. You don't like historical stuff.
No,
you like sci-fi stuff.
I do, yeah. My parents like that stuff though. My dad keeps trying to get me to watch some of these black and white movies with him, and I'm like, they got a road.
It's like a series.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I don't mind historical stuff. because when I was younger, I used to read the Dear America series, the the diaries. I remember the one that I loved the most was Marie Antoinette's diary.
Ooh, I bet that was
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. I loved American Girl. I used to like all that stuff, but I don't know.
Mhm.
Now it doesn't really interest me that much.
Yeah.
I think I just like the
Gotcha.
drama, and there's not as much drama.
Yeah. Well, we'll have that, and then like Texas A&M plays football tonight, and then
Oh,
Wake Forest has a game tonight, so we'll be watching like those two. So I'll check it out.
yeah. Yeah, you should. Last Night in Soho. It's super good. I feel like Sebastian might like it.
Mm-hmm. I might
Yeah.
watch The Campaign. It's on HBO Max. It has like Will Ferrell and like one of the other guys, and it's like this
I'm
common.
sold.
Yeah, it's like this comedy about like running for office, and it's just like a ridiculous comedy.
I'm sold. You said Will
Yeah.
Ferrell. I'll
It's
be
like
there.
a Talladega Night, but political related, is my understanding.
Oh,
I've
okay. So
never seen it before, but like I've
never heard of
noticed
it.
like I'm not in a series right now because like I just
Oh, it's a
don't.
series?
No. I'm just saying in general. Like this is
Oh,
why I'm asking about movies because I just like I don't have time
yeah.
to watch like TV series right now, like unless it's like week to week. But like I can't really like binge and I don't know.
I mean, you
It's
don't
just
have to binge stuff. I just want to remind you that too. But I'll admit there are some things like Squid Game and
yeah.
oh god, what was that other one that everybody was watching where the clickbait? Those you have to like. You can't
Yeah,
not
well,
binge
like
those.
I tried watching. I was doing good with Parks and Rec, and then I was like halfway through the second season, and I haven't watched it in like 2 months because I really only binge
Really?
TV when I have to do some work for my dad. So like I'll just sit and do work for like 5 hours for him, and it's just like mundane like work of like copying, pasting stuff over, and so I don't have to think. So I just put like catch up on my TV, but like and when it comes to like Grey's Anatomy, like I keep that up pretty much week to week. Like I'm good keeping up like my week to week shows,
Yeah.
but like I just like can't get back into Parks and Rec right now.
Okay. But do you still like Parks and Rec?
I do. I just feel like it's more like a binge you have to sit down and watch,
Okay.
and
I
it's just like
almost
I
got
don't
you
know.
this thing I saw at Home Goods about Parks and Rec, and then I decided not to, and then I was going to get you something else, and then I'm glad that you still like it.
Well, I just haven't gotten like I don't know. I just don't have time to like sit there because like if I have free time, I prefer reading right now.
Yeah,
It just like clears my mind, and I don't know.
that's understandable.
So
We all
like
go through phases.
I'll throw on like Friends or The Office because I know what's gonna happen. And just
Yeah,
have that going on in the background while I read.
I feel you on that. Like sometimes if I just need something mindless, I have to see something that I've already seen.
Mm-hmm.
If it's something I haven't seen before, I feel like I have to be intensely like paying
Yes, and I
attention.
just like haven't had time to be like intensely watching something.
Yeah. Okay, that's understandable.
So, but now, so instead of like, getting into like a series, I guess I still have Little Fires Everywhere. I can finish.
Is that the Reese Witherspoon thing?
Yes, one of
Okay.
hers, and then because I'm like halfway through that, but the issue, yeah, I need because I watched it on the plane because I read the book and really liked the book, and then I had such bad turbulence on my flights to Phoenix like last month and back that I was like I can't read, so I just watched like TV shows I downloaded. So I want to watch that, and then like Only Murders in the Building.
I need to
Maybe I'll
see that. I don't know why I haven't seen that yet. It's right
yeah.
up my alley.
I hear it's amazing.
Yeah. Even people who don't like true crime are telling me, like,
Yeah.
why have you not seen this yet? I
It's
don't
like
know
a
why.
comedy mixed with like true crime podcast.
Yeah. I know. I need to see it. Okay. I'm this is encouraging me. Maybe I'll watch one tonight. An episode
So
tonight. All right. I
yeah.
guess anything else you want to talk about? I guess we can just get into it. The fast three real quick.
Yep, we can go through the fast three.
Okay. So the first one is Cam Newton comes back to North Carolina.
I'm shocked.
Yeah. You know, not a sports girly, as some call them.
At
So
all.
not even close. But I do know who Cam Newton is.
Good for
And
you.
yeah. And when I saw that he was back, I was like, wait,
When
did
did
he just leave? Like
he left? It's like 2 seasons. Yeah.
and the other
Because
thing,
he went to the Patriots. So when Tom Brady left, that's when Cam went to the Patriots. And that was
wait,
like
who does Tom Brady play for now?
the Buccaneers.
And they're
He
the
won
ones
a
that
Super
won the
Bowl with the
Super Bowl.
Buccaneers last year.
Got it.
Yeah. So I guess it's only been like a season and a half.
Okay.
Yeah.
The other
yeah.
the other thing I know about football, and this might be controversial, but this is what I've been taught, is we root for every team but the Patriots. That's what I've been told. You're supposed to
By
root for every
who?
team but the Patriots. Everybody. I don't know anybody that likes the Patriots.
It's actually because they just kept winning, and it's like I think a lot of people
Are
are
tired of
more
it.
Tom Brady fans than the Patriots fans, and Tom Brady haters versus the like Patriots haters. So
Are
yeah,
you pro Patriots?
I really don't like NFL that much, to be
Oh.
honest. Like I love college football, but I've never like because I guess like the Panthers have never really been that good. So I've
We
never,
went to the I was about to say the playoffs. Whew, Mallory. We went to the Super Bowl.
but we never won a Super Bowl. But that's like
Oh, we've
one
never
year.
won a Super
No, we've
Bowl.
never won Super Bowl. It's been like 1 year, and so I've never been like a
No,
die.
when we were in elementary, we went as well because my church used to have church on Sunday nights. But that night we went to we went to the Super Bowl. They had a Super Bowl party at my church.
Yeah. So like I've
Twice.
never, yeah. So I mean I've never, I don't know, I just never really like had a team to root for. And I just like college football so much better because it's like everyone has a college team, in my opinion. Like you're passionate, most people are passionate about where they went to school and like the athletics. And so I just feel like it's more like just people are more passionate when it comes to their college teams.
Really? I feel like that's the exact opposite.
Well, I don't
Well,
know.
also too, I'm outside looking in.
Yeah, well, I think it's like a southern thing. Like you didn't go to a southern school though.
True. We didn't even have a football team, but we had T-shirts that said undefeated football
Yeah.
team.
So I don't know. That's just kind of that's why I like college better. But
Okay.
I mean, I'm getting into NFL because like Sebastian's like a diehard Dallas fan, and so I'm like rooting for the Dallas
The
Cowboys.
Cowboys. Okay.
Mhm.
I had a
Cowboys.
teacher that was he loved the Cowboys. And anytime there was an opportunity to watch a movie, we watched Remember the Titans.
It's not
That
even
was
about the Dallas Cowboys.
it was his favorite movie though. Remember the
Okay.
Titans and the Dallas Cowboys. That's what I remember the most about him.
Interesting.
Also talking about football, Aaron Rodgers, the Packers' Aaron Rodgers, he took responsibility for misleading vax status, and he wants to get back to focusing on football. So apparently, I didn't write out the part to read, but apparently, Aaron Rodgers like said that he was not. He said he was vaxxed when he really wasn't vaxxed. And he said he has a message for those either for or against the decision. He's an athlete, not an activist. And I know that boy is tired. I feel like everyone's talking about his vax thing. And I literally feel like he just doesn't want to take it, and he just doesn't, and like everybody's making a big deal out of it. He's like, I just don't want to do it. So he's sitting there doing all these press conferences. I feel so bad for him. And everybody's like has an opinion on whether he should do it or not. And it's like, hey, I'm just trying to play football. I'm just trying to provide for my family.
See, that's where I'm like torn between like the activism side. Like, you know, like what he said, he's like, I'm an athlete, not an activist. But then like, do we only feel that way because we disagree with like 99% of the activism that these like athletes and movie stars, like if we agreed with them on their activism, would we be feeling the same way of like, I don't want your activism and your wokeness and like my sports and TV and
no. And I'm gonna say why I think. Once again, not a sports person, but I am assuming sports is also escapism.
And yeah, it's like a TV shows, it's escapism.
Yeah, I think we just don't want it. I know for myself, like I'm inundated with politics all the time. I don't want to hear about I don't want to hear your vaccine status. I don't want to hear how you feel about, honestly, I don't want to hear how you feel about abortion when you're playing football. I want it, not to be mean, and this, I don't want to say like shut up and dribble. That's not, I don't mean that either. But I just really don't want to, like, I want you to do the sport. Like I want you to be in the movie.
But then why do you have a right to be an activist, but they don't?
Because I'm not entertaining anybody.
Okay, but it's okay if they're posting on social media about being an activist for abortion.
No, it's not okay. Wait, what do you mean?
Well, like, I guess my question is like, okay, as long as they're not doing it on the field on the TV, you don't
Yeah, I
care.
guess I
Like,
guess
if they're
that's
doing
where
it
I
like on
stand.
social media,
I guess that's fine. I'd prefer that than to have a big show like
because
during
I think they
the
have,
event.
and that's just because this is where I'm torn. Like, I think they have a right.
Yeah, they absolutely have a
They
right. Like
have a
it's
right
yeah,
to say what they believe, and it's like, but then I also have a right to not follow you on social media.
exactly.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, that makes sense. Like, because I mean, I hate to say it, I do feel like they have a right to say something, and that's
Right.
where I've been torn of like, okay, well, should it be on like TV and like wokeness interluded in everything? Like, but I yeah, that makes sense. Like, as
Yeah.
long as it's not on TV. But then okay, so then like playing devil's advocate, like Tim Tebow wore the like numbers like 316 under his like on his eye patches when he played for like John 316. That would be deemed activism. Is that okay?
Okay, so this is where like even if someone had like I don't know like BLM, which would be activism, someone had BLM and they
Mm-hmm.
didn't put such a focus on it, I don't think I would care. But the
Yeah.
problem is because it's such a big thing, they're gonna put a focus on it. If
Yeah.
he has 316 there and they don't make a big deal out of it, then and like I
But
notice it
they
because I am a
did.
Christian. I know. So then I'm kind of like because I think that I don't know. I kind of wish that it's impossible because it's humans and everybody has the right. Like I would never say don't do it. Like, or I would never
Yeah.
say like they should not be allowed. I would appreciate it if you just kind of did your thing so we can escape it for a little bit. But you should be allowed to do it. It's just like
Mm-hmm.
if he had the 316 and nobody said anything, but we Christians are like, hey, okay, I like that. I like that. Then I think it would just be better if they have the BLM and people who are pro BLM are like, oh look, there's the BLM, and we
Yeah.
just moved on, I'd be fine. But the problem is the media is going to be like something different.
Do you think
Like,
too, and I guess I'm wondering this too, like the difference like between a single athlete being an activism and an organization trying to be an activism. Like we see it with like NFL talking
fair.
about BLM, Grey's Anatomy telling everyone to get vaccinated, having like the whole COVID season.
Okay, that's
And like the
good
BLM and
thinking.
all mixed in with the
Yeah.
TV show. So it's not just a single person being an activist.
Yes. And that, okay, that's even a fair point. I don't like that either.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, like sometimes I'm like, oh God, I don't celebrities stop talking because I don't want to like think negatively about you. I don't want to, but then at the same time, it's like I do kind of want to know. And I guess I do want to know if X, Y, and Z organization is supporting X, Y, and Z cause.
Okay,
I
so then here's my next question.
okay.
So like there's like an influencer or even like some, because this is where I've like been torn. Like I have had people like I go to high school with that have had like said nasty comments on my post because I'm a Republican. And I'm and like has also like there's been people that have like delete like just made comments like heck, like I've had family members delete Sebastian off Facebook
You had
because
family members do
yeah,
that? Oh
like,
my
and
God.
it's like a fairly direct family member has
Whoa.
done it, and just because of the politics. So like, but I kind of want to delete some people because of their like political stances. Like, so I'm
Yeah.
like, I really like don't. I don't know if it's like I don't want them to see my politics, but it's just like I'm just like I don't want your stupidity on my post.
I
But
think
then,
it,
but then
yeah.
it's like, but then am I going like as low as like left people that have done it to me?
Yeah, that's a tough question. It's a hard line to walk because so what I've been trying to do. So I feel you on that. There are some people, as you
And
know,
I will add
but
too, like I really kind of want to clean up my Facebook account because I've had
me
people that I've been like friends with since middle school that I'm like, I don't talk to you. Like I only added you because I wanted to be cool and have a bunch of friends. So like part of me is like, do I just part of me is kind of wondering like, okay, do I just want to delete everyone that I'm not like friends with?
maybe you should just make a political Facebook page and
It's
then
just
have that be
weird.
like your family
Well,
page.
that's what I'm starting to wonder too. I think I'm gonna like make like because I really don't post on like my personal account, but I have like a lot of sorority sisters that are not Republican that follow like my personal account. So I'm wondering if I just kind of like I'll just do all my political stuff on that political couple. I've been like
Maybe.
debating that too.
See, that's the other thing too. Like, I do think you should feel comfortable and you should share, but I do understand like sometimes like the backlash, especially from people you know.
Yeah.
Like I don't care. Like if people comment on my things because they disagree and I like barely know them, that doesn't bother me. It's the people that like I know personally or people who I've had long conversations with and respect
Yeah.
that starts to bother me. So I definitely understand wanting to
Well, and I guess I'll go back to
get
the
out of that.
Instagram part where what I'm thinking is like, look, like these people that have followed me since like that high school, middle school, college, they didn't follow me for my political content. Like, and
But
so
that's part of who you are now, though, at the end of the day.
yeah, and so that's why I'm kind of torn. It's like originally they didn't follow me for my political content. I don't want them to like feel like I'm oversaturating them with political content. But
You might also be the only Republican voice that they hear. So I mean, that's and
yes,
like
this is where I'm torn. It's like, do I like because I just know there's like some people that will post political content. Like I have a girl that like I was friends with in high school that she posts all the time like getting her COVID vaccination, posts all this political content, and it's very left. And I'm like, I just want to hear about your life. Like I really don't like, and that's where I'm torn because it's like I just want to hear about your life. Like I really don't want to see your like political party who you're voting for on your social media. I just want to see how you're doing, what you're doing, and like, yeah.
see, but okay, so there's
And so
two
that's
types.
where I'm torn because it's like, because I've seen it in some people that have like over posted on politics, and I'm like, I don't want to see your politics. I just want to hear about you.
Okay, so there's two types of people in this world: politicos and normies. At the end of the day, Victoria, whether you want to admit it, you're a political, you're not a normie.
I know.
You have to go ahead and accept that. And it's okay. Hey, we politicals, we're okay. We welcome you and love you with open arms. So normies, at the end of the day, they're just going to be, I went out with my friends. Oh, I went to this nice mountain. See me at the beach. But you're a politico. And
Yeah.
I mean, that's just part of who you are. So I don't think,
I
maybe
see
if you want to turn it down a little bit, sure. But I don't think you should stop. And I think that like, and you also have to remember, like you, at this point, you are an influencer. So you have like, if you're going to share, like you're sharing stuff, not just like for hee hee ha ha, you're sharing it because also too, like you might be the only Republican voice they hear. And 10 years from now, it's going to feel amazing when you get that, hey, Victoria, you know what? I saw that post. I listened to your podcast episode. I saw that post you put about being pro-life. And look at little Johnny. He's 5 because I thought of you. Like those types of, like, that's why you're doing it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. Part of me is just kind of like, okay, like that political couple is like my influencer, even though I don't consider myself an influencer yet, but that's my influencer account, my like personal account. I'm like thinking about just keeping it personal. I'm probably going to even like,
but what about when you post stuff for like politics?
It would just go to that political couple, and then if it's like a cute picture, I might repost it to mine.
Like even like YR stuff?
I don't post much for YR stuff though.
Oh.
I have like, but that's the thing. Like, I haven't posted in over a year on my personal account because, yeah, you didn't realize that.
I guess not, because
the last thing I posted about was Sebastian running for office, but it's also because like I haven't been confident in my skin at all, and also like we haven't done anything cool to feel like it's worth being posted about.
We haven't done anything cool.
Yeah.
That's funny.
I used to do a lot of cool stuff before the pandemic. I just feel like I haven't done anything cool since then. Like I used to.
You went on that trip with your sister. I mean, yeah, with your sisters.
Yeah. But I did not like feel like I looked good in any pictures. Like I felt like I looked fat in all the pictures, so that's why I didn't post anything.
Oh.
So, but I will say I hit a weight milestone this week, and I'm very proud of myself.
What I do, so this is what I've been doing whenever I feel like terrible, but I do need to post a picture because I am trying to do this whole influencer thing. is I go, this will be a good before picture in a couple of months. This will be a great before picture.
Yeah.
All right, this is another before picture.
But
okay.
see, and that's where I'm like, okay, like my followers on my personal account, like they don't want to hear like all the details about political stuff, but my followers on that political couple account definitely want to follow. And so like I feel like I would have a lot more content to post on that political couple because like I don't know, I guess I'm looking at it from like an audience standpoint. Like I don't think my audience on my personal account wants to hear about all the political stuff I'm doing, but the audience on that political account, like that's why they're there.
But isn't your personal account just like your friends and family? Is it
Yeah.
people you know personally? Who cares? Like, not trying to be like, who cares? But like, that's not like, I hate to say that's not
Yeah.
really an
Oh, I
audience.
mean, I guess it's just like it's a lot of my sorority sisters, and that's like a bulk of my following is like a lot of like girls.
And you're just concerned that like you're going to turn them off if you're posting politics a lot.
Yeah, I guess because I don't know. Well, I mean, because I guess I just feel like I don't know. I just feel like I don't want like I didn't follow you because like I want to see your political posts. Like I followed you because I want to see about your life.
Right, but if that's who you are, you can't change that.
But I wasn't like that at all in college. So like I was very apolitical up until I met Sebastian.
So now you are. Like it doesn't like we change. We change, we grow. So who cares you weren't like that? Okay. I was definitely talkative. I definitely was pro-life, but I do feel like I wasn't as political as I am now.
Like I wasn't even verbal about my politics at all. Like I was not verbal. I was very apolitical. I'm like, I don't care. I'm gonna vote, but I don't care. Like
now you've grown.
I know.
You're no longer a normie. Come on. I feel like you're fighting it. You're not a normie, Victoria. You're not a normie.
I don't know. I just kind of feel like I wanted like that political couple to be kind of like my start over account and kind of like grow it and focus on content like that to grow. I don't know, where I can be like more political. I guess because okay, fine. I look at it as like, okay, like I have a health and beauty blog, but people didn't follow. Well, what's a better example?
Well, okay, so you keep saying people didn't follow, but like I feel like if they're your friends and family, it doesn't really like they're following for your life. But if your life is going to YR, if your life is going to blah blah blah, then it doesn't really matter. Like that's your life though.
Yeah.
You're a Politico.
Yeah.
Come on. Now I'm gonna get you a t-shirt that says I'm a Politico, not a normie. And I want you to wear it to bed every night so you can remember. So you don't have to fight it.
I'll think about it. I'll think about it.
Don't fight it. Speaking of life online, the last Fast 3, we're just talking Justin Bieber. He's going to provide.
Okay,
he's going to
wait, can that be our question on Spotify? Like, should Vic, is it okay to like post, I don't know, about what do people think? Should I post to like that political couple, like try to just have 2 separate accounts? Or should I just post to my personal account that I've had since high school?
Okay. Personal versus political. This pen's not writing. Personal versus political.
Yeah, can that be? Because I just need some advice. Like, and maybe even post this on our stories. Because like honestly, this is something like I've been like truly trying to deal with like recently.
I think it's part of who you like. If you were like faking, then I'd be like, no. But like being a political is part of who you are. Like when I think of you, I do think politics.
Yeah.
So I think that
that's like the hard. It's just so hard because like I didn't grow up like that at all and like involved at all. But and it's like so many like I would probably say like over the majority of the people that follow me on like my personal account are not Republicans. Or wouldn't even like
honestly, that's probably good because you're going to be like if you just share tiny things, you're going to be an opposing voice.
And maybe because I feel like I'm inundated with politics all the time, so when I go to like social media, like I don't really want to see so much politics.
Fair.
So maybe that's your escapism. The way I do. Yeah. Fair.
Even though I do think that's the one place you should talk about politics.
Yeah.
But we got to move to the next story.
I know.
So Justin Bieber's going to perform a live concert in the metaverse. Justin Bieber is gearing up to perform live in the metaverse. The chart topper will sing several songs from his latest album, Justice, during an upcoming live concert on the virtual entertainment platform Wave on November 18th. During this event, attendees will be able to interact with a Grammy-winning artist who will be able to control his digital avatar using the motion capture suit. That is kind of, I mean, that's a little creepy.
Yeah, I don't know what to say.
I feel like that's weird. That's strange. I think, and it just reminds me of those tweets we read last episode? Yeah, last episode about like, and honestly, you going back and forth about whether you should, now we're back on that topic again, you going back and forth about whether you should post political on your thing just reminds me of like, here we go. If you don't post anything political on your personal, that's almost you being fake, because at the end of the day, doing politics is who you are. So if you acting like you don't do that, you have a whole nother social media life than your real life.
Yeah.
And that's what they were talking about in the metaverse.
All right. Well, can I ask one more fast story that you completely forgot?
Sure.
On Friday, November 12th, Taylor's version broke the record for the most streamed album in a day by a female, and Taylor broke the record for the most streamed female in a day in Spotify history.
Wow, good for her.
Yeah. I will say I gave in and started listening to it a little bit this morning because I needed some music on in the background while I was studying.
Okay.
And it's pretty good. I like it. I would say like Red is one of my favorite of her albums.
Is it the set? Like, didn't she already do an album called Red?
Yeah. But so do you not understand like what's going on? So like,
no,
she had like a record producer that essentially like had all like the rights. Scooter Braun, who ended up being like a
Demi Lovato's friend.
I think so.
Interesting. Well, and her enabler. Go ahead.
Yes. So then Taylor is re-recording all her albums and is calling it the Taylor's version. So she now owns all the rights to the music because he owns all the rights to her for so many albums.
Okay.
And so when she like broke off, like he wouldn't give them to her. So now she's just re-recording all her albums.
Oh, okay.
So I think she's re-recorded Fearless. I think she's, or maybe Speak Now. I really don't know her albums well.
But this is her second one that she's re-recorded.
No, I think it's been more than that.
Nice.
Let me look real quick.
I'm gonna have to look at. You're right. I don't know why I didn't mention. I'm sorry, Swifties. I know you guys.
So she's done Red as Taylor's version and Fearless as Taylor's version.
Let's see. What's in? Oh, I knew you were trouble. 22. We're never getting back together. Okay.
So I think Fearless is like her second album. Her first one's like her like self-titled.
Yeah, I know that.
And then she's added like more songs into that she originally wanted to add into the album, and yeah.
Good for her. So yeah. She is dynamic the right word? Artist.
Versatile.
Yeah, she is. She really is. And I mean, think about like how she started off, like Teardrops on My Guitar.
Yeah.
All the way
Dear John was one. That's what she wrote about John Mayer.
Okay.
Yep. And then like Tim McGraw. And, like,
I was gonna say, I know
country to like hardcore pop to like folksy music.
Yeah, or indie is the
indie.
New album.
Yeah, I guess indie. More indie.
Yeah. That's so good for her. Good for her. And that was the only country I used to like. Taylor Swift, Teardrops.
Well, now it's gonna be Kelsey Ballerini because you really liked her at the Jonas
I did like her. Yeah, I did like her, and I loved her style. I think that's probably what sold me the most. All the pink.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it is time for our TCAP stories of the week.
The main ones. The ones brought to you by Living in the Light Co.
I believe so.
All right. So Living in the Light Co. started as a passion project in 1919 in 2019. Brooke is actually over 100 years old, and she makes these all herself. No, I'm just joking. It started in 2019 by Brooke. All of the items are custom designed by her. No item is purchased through mass retailers. All of their bows and scrunchies are wholesaled through small USA businesses and are handmade. Their goal is to wholesale through more and more small businesses so that their customers know that their items are sourced, who are making them, and ultimately they can be reassured that when they spend money with them, they're going to wholesome families who are creating beautiful things to support themselves. Their priority is to ensure that Living in the Light Co. is 100% spiritually based and run, and they do not cave to culture. So you should head over to their website, litlco.com, and use the code THOSEGIRLS to get 10% off. Let's get into it.
Awesome. All right. So our first story is about Reese Witherspoon. Goodness. She does this InStyle magazine article talking about gender inequality when it comes to the wage gap. So I will read a brief not really brief, but I will
we don't have to read the whole thing.
I'll read a few like key points. So
and we'll link it, everybody, so you can check it out.
She goes, another important difference is that women have humility. I have no problem saying to people, I don't understand what you're saying. Can you please explain it to me? Self-doubt is a good tool. You shouldn't know everything. Turn to somebody, but advocate to learn more and do better. I can agree with that.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
She goes, I've dealt with the author goes, so many people, women especially, don't want to think they're smart or that they don't understand. You don't have a problem with that. Reese goes, I've dealt with those types of biases for a long time in our business. Actresses, they're infantilized. People don't talk to them about money or deals. They say, oh, don't worry about that. We'll have that. Not empowering someone with information is a form of control. So at a certain point in my career, I took back the reins. I finally picked up the phone and said, I am not excited about this one part of my deal. And the agent was like, well, let's change it. Sometimes you have to pick up the phone. Don't assume you don't know the answers. And then the author goes, and sometimes what's in print can be totally misconstrued. You were recently on the cover of Time 100 Most Influential Company issue, and the article says you've transformed your role in Hollywood from a movie star to a business leader. Was that your intention when you started Hello Sunshine in 2016? Reese goes, it was about the age it was about the age of 34 when I really started to look around my business and saw a lack of female leadership at the top levels. Women were not in decision-making positions, whether it was a green light committee on a studio or owning their own media companies. You can look at Oprah and Ellen DeGeneres, but beyond that, I'm hard-pressed to think of women who own a very robust media enterprise.
Dang, I did not include the part. Okay, well, there's another part in there.
Gender gap part.
Sorry, you guys, it's been
or the wage
week.
gap. Because like I was reading, I'm like, yeah, I agree with all this. Like, you don't see women at the top yet, but we're getting there. Like, we're pushing our way up.
And I think so. In the article as well, once again, I'll link it. Sorry about that, y'all. It's been a long week. She also mentions talks about the wage gap and how we women, she basically is her point in her conversation. She's basically trying to say, like, women, we just have, oh, woe is us. Like, we just don't have anything. And I have to do this because we blah, blah, blah. And, well, the reality is women are not at the top as much right now because women were just included in the workforce. I think we're still kind of like forgetting that there's still different places in the workforce that women have never been in before. There's still places that women are just now getting in. So it's not necessarily a woe is us moment. It's just we're in a new season. This is something new. And I don't remember if it's somewhere else I read or in here where she also talks about like women don't have women are not getting raises or something like that. And I just want to say like that is also partially our fault because we don't ask. I saw this other thing too. It was like women will apply for a job.
I've told you this.
About the
women will only apply for a job if they feel like they're 100% qualified. A
Oh,
man
you
will
just told
do
me
it when
this.
he feels 50%.
Yeah.
And so when I applied for my jobs, or when I was applying for jobs, I was like, I'm going to apply to anything and everything. Like, I'm not going to be
Limit
like
yourself.
overthink this. Like,
Yeah.
I applied to over 50 positions because I'm like, I'm not going to overthink this. If Indeed thinks I'm qualified for this position, because if you think about it, like these like job search engines, they already have that. Like,
Yeah, they already
they
have
see
that
your resume, they know what you would be qualified for, what the person's looking for. There's a reason why this job is popping up in your search.
Yeah. And part of the reason why I wanted to talk about this is because I want us all everybody listening, to feel empowered. I think sometimes when there's these conversations, at least the vibe I get is like, oh, woe is us. But like, no, we should be the ones who are stepping up. Women are not in the top leadership levels because we haven't pushed ourselves. We haven't. I love how she created her own thing. There's like a quote where it's like, if they won't invite you to the table, you bring your own folding chair. Like, you do it yourself.
I like that.
Yeah, I love that. And I think that that's what we can do. Like, that is what's really empowering, just to remind each other, like, we can do it. We just have to be bold, and we have to work together. And when I say work together, I mean, like, when you're in an office or something like that with other women, you don't have to feel like, oh, there's only this one position for a woman. No, like, you guys should be working together in the sense of like, hey, you got this, you need help. Like, that's how I now say that too. For me, like, I try to do that in all the jobs I do. I want to be, I don't like competition in that sense. Like, I'd rather us work together. And I mean, that's even like what we're doing here with the podcast. We love collabing with other people, with other businesses, because it is part of working together. It is part of us doing this. And I remember also there was another statistic. It was like women, they during the pandemic, women CEOs, the majority of them took like a pay cut, but men didn't take a pay cut, something like that. And I'm like, okay, that's not a bad thing. Like, to me,
well, I think it's like, you need to look at what the industry is. If it's like a man and a woman literally in the same industry, one took a pay cut, one didn't, okay, then maybe that's sus. But it's also like, what was the health of the company?
Well, and okay, that's so funny. That's how your mind went. And my mind went, it's probably because the women understood that their people that were working for them are probably struggling. So let me give a little bit of my paycheck. I probably I can help out. They're a little bit more compassionate and empathetic. That's how I took it. So I was like, that's not even like
yeah, I see that.
Yeah. And I feel like
that's funny. That's where my mind went, was the numbers.
Yeah. And my mind went to emotions, love, empathy. And I think that's something like our emotions, our love, our empathy, that is like a strength. I was talking to someone earlier this week, and we were talking about something like in regards to this. And I remember saying like, yeah, women, we are a little bit more emotional. And instead of that being a negative, like, we can turn, like, that's our strength. Like, at the end of the day, facts don't care about feelings, but people care about feelings. So we can fax people all day, but I'm sorry, people don't care about what you have to say until they know that you care about them, or y'all know the quote.
I completely agree with that.
Yeah. And I think that this is our strength. So I think that, maybe there's not a lot of us at the top, but like, that's for right now. And you have to put yourself out there. You have to do it yourself too. Like, I love that she started a company. And I also
I love it too. Like, I love what she's doing, and then how she's such a genius. Like, how she's using her Reese's book clubs and then are turning those books into movies. Like, Where the Crawdads Sing was one of her book club picks, and now it's being turned into a movie.
Wow. I think I heard that I think that's what they talked about on the Toast one of those days.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, this is, and anyone listening, this is something to think about too. Like, if they don't have a seat for you there, bring a folding chair.
Yep.
And it's okay if you have to do that. So the wage gap, I'm going to link this video by PragerU that talks about the gender gap, because she does mention that in the article. And one of the things, because I used to wonder about that too, especially as, this is a pro-woman
I think it's
podcast.
like what they say is like the type of job that you're in. It's like women are in like more of like an HR role, and
more of a nurse versus a doctor type thing.
Yes. And it's just what we choose to do. And so it's really like you're comparing apples to oranges. Like, if you're comparing someone who's like literally in the same job with like, it's like literally you're comparing like a green apple to a red apple, then that
Yeah.
makes sense. And I really don't think there's much of a wage gap, if any.
No, there
Because
isn't.
like the thing too is like companies are so aware of it now. They're not gonna do anything to like cause issues in that
No,
way.
no. And I also think another thing is I feel like we've gotten so far, like, we're overcorrecting once again. So,
Yes, I
for
agree.
example, the nurse, the doctor situation, it's okay if women are nurses. We just talked about how women are a little bit more empathetic, women are a little bit more compassionate. It's okay. Like, don't feel bad. There's nothing wrong with that. A nurse versus a doctor type thing.
And
Now,
I think too with women, like if you think about it, like we have like a ticking clock inside of us. And so
true.
we're
Oh
like
gosh, I
a
think about that all the
man
time.
has time to like get a like his career off the ground. Like he can wait until he's like late 30s, early 40s to have kids.
Yeah.
And so he can do that 10 to 15 years of schooling he needs to become a doctor
Right. Very good point.
because of that. And but I feel like as women we do have like
Our timeline is different.
a timeline. Like I truly do feel a timeline like with my life versus like what like male
Sebastian.
counterparts.
Yeah.
Because I'm
Oh,
like, okay, like I want to get pregnant. I want to have like at least 3 kids. Like I'm gonna have to start in like 2 years, but I'm not where I want to be yet in my career.
yeah. And I think that's where, once again, that could also be a reason why, she didn't start this thing till she was 34.
Yeah.
So and that's okay. I think that's another thing too. I feel like we're so trying, as women, we're trying so hard to be like men. We're forgetting, like, it's okay if you aren't doing this exact thing the way
If
you
you do
want.
it just a
Maybe,
little later in life instead of like first thing in life.
yeah, like, it's okay. And I think that if we just start reminding people, like, you know what, maybe starting your dream job or maybe starting your own business at 35 as opposed to 25 when you're raising kids, when you're, young and birthing people, maybe starting your dream career at 35 is okay. Because I
Yeah.
mean, also too, you'll probably have better saving habits. I was gonna say more money, maybe not more money if you have a bunch of kids, but you'll probably know how to manage money better.
Yeah,
Because
for
you have
sure.
a bunch of kids. Like, it's not a negative thing. And I think we're just so caught up in like all the negatives of being a woman. And I want women to be okay with it. Like, we are great. There's nothing wrong with us.
I agree.
Okay, next story.
All right. So our last story is a missing teenager used a hand gesture she's seen on TikTok to alert a driver to call 911. A missing 16-year-old girl was rescued in Kentucky on Thursday after someone noticed her using a hand gesture popularized by TikTok that is intended to be a sign for help. The driver spotted the distressed teenager in a car driven by an older man making the sign as they rode down I-75 on Thursday, which I think she's from North Carolina.
Oh, she was from North Carolina?
Mhm.
Wow. I saw that on the news and I was like, it was like right after the Astro
So
World
what is it?
story. So I was like, yay.
So your hand is out, and then you kind of go like with your
Yeah.
so like your thumb goes
Or
in, and
and
then
then close over the thumb.
yep. Okay,
So
I think
I
so.
saw that and I was like, this is such a good feel good story. We needed to hear
Thank God for
this.
social media and
I
TikTok.
know. Honestly, this is the first time I think that's ever been said. Like, at least from me, I'm like, thank God for TikTok. And
Thank
I think
God for TikTok.
this is a positive metaverse example. This is something positive that came out of it. And I wanted to share the story because I was like, this is a good story. This is positive. And it's a woman thing. So one more time, it's 5, then your thumb down, and then that. So that's really cool. I do wonder if everybody talking about it is going, like, I guess, I mean, you can do it discreetly. I was going to say, like, is it going to make criminals angry if they see their captor doing something like that? But I mean,
Yeah, but it's smart because it's like that's not like
it's
because like
not
I've seen
so
the
super
videos and a
blatant.
lot of the time it's like you're doing it behind your back so they can't see. It's
Okay.
like these like when they like adopt little kids, the little kids are doing it behind their back.
Okay. Well, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. But yeah, that I really wanted to talk about that. I guess this could have been a fast 3. There's not much more to say other than like, yay. I
That's
guess
all I
what
have.
Yeah. Well, I guess what we can like tiny add to, well, I mean, I guess it doesn't have to be an hour long every episode.
No, I think we're good. I think we're actually close to an hour.
Oh, perfect.
So
But yeah, you guys, that's all she wrote. I've been saying that lately. I guess I'll just say this though. Thank you everyone who has been liking, rating, reviewing, subscribing. Let's continue to keep this up. I really, 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 really would like this podcast to be shared with everyone. We get messages from people saying how grateful they are, how they feel seen, how they feel heard because they found the podcast and they're like, oh, this person also shares my opinion. I'm not crazy. I mean, I'm sure some people can relate to what Victoria was talking about earlier. I have no doubt of that. Like, I'm sure people can relate. So I think that the more people that get this, the better. And the only way we'll get people to get this is if you guys are sharing it. So if you guys start sharing with your friends and family, it'll make a huge difference for us. It'll make a huge difference for you as well, because this is a community. This is something that we have for all, like, this podcast isn't about me. Excuse me, it's not about me, it's not about Victoria, it's not about any of the other guests, it's about all of us. It's all of us coming together, all of us making a change in the culture. Things like this are how we're going to make a difference in the culture, because right now we are in a culture war. And if you listen to the Virginia, Jessie talking about Virginia, she even mentioned like what won the Virginia race is cultural issues. It's people standing up against these terrible things that are happening in the schools. People asking, hey, you know what? I don't think I want my child reading about oral sex in the 6th grade. Maybe I don't think I want that.
mm-hmm.
Those are the issues. So these cultural topics, this us speaking and you sharing it, this is what is going to help us in 2022. This is also what's going to help us change the culture and bring back more traditional values.
Yep.
So like I said, please make sure you rate, review, subscribe, and share. If you share it on social media, tag us. We'll repost it. We'd appreciate that. Anything else?
That's all I have.
All right. Thank you everyone for listening. You guys have a good rest of your day. Bye.
Bye guys.